For a long time now, the Halo series has been known as some of the most revolutionary games within the FPS genre. Each Halo has its own unique purpose, its own time and era. In each Halo, regardless of whether or not it was the king of the FPS, or nowadays just down to a simple, but just, standard exclusive, each game always had something unique. Today, I am going to be counting down my top 7 favorite Halo games. Now, before I begin, I would like to explain I am not going to be including Halo Wars on here, or any Halo, I guess you could say, Halo mobile games, or Halo Wars and such, just because they're different. They're different designs, they're not really designed the same way as the other ones, because, Halo was a strategy game, the mobile apps are, like these kind of overhead third person, so they're really different. I'm also not going to be including the Master Chief Collection, mainly because, well, it is just a collection of the 4 already existing games. And before I say this, before anyone says any disrespect, this is all my opinion, none of this is fact, and I really just wanted to make this for fun, guys, so I hope you enjoy. Number 7 on this list is Halo 3 ODST. Halo 3 ODST, to many, is considered not really its own game. Some consider it simply an extension of Halo 3, but I think it's still large enough to count it as its own game, especially since it is still sold separate as the $60 price tag. Now, personally, ODST, I never thought it was a bad game, but I felt while its ideas were great, it just had so many lackluster to me. It didn't compare to the trilogy, in my opinion, and in general, while I did enjoy everything in concept, I believe it could have been executed way better. That's not to say that ODST is a bad game, but easily I believe it laid the least impact on me, and I just believe it's not really, I don't think it's the best. Number 6 is Halo 4. Now, ever since 343 took over the Halo series, 343 has been trying to, just did things new. They always wanted to show something new to the Halo series, and I really feel like while they did succeed in doing some new ideas, it really kind of came at the cost of what made Halo special. So Halo 4, in retrospect, it didn't really feel like Halo anymore. It took too many things from like Call of Duty and stuff with like the loadouts and the ordnance drops, the multiplayer, and the campaign. While it was fun, the levels, in my opinion, were too linear, and it was just okay. But yeah. Number 5 is Halo Combat Evolved. This is a game that is relatively very loved by the Halo community. It's the first Halo game, and it's the game that started it all. And when I was like a little kid, I heard legends upon how Combat Evolved revolutionized the genre and all that. And while I believe for its time it was such a, it was like a revolutionary masterpiece, when looking at it now, I believe it hasn't aged as well as it probably should have. In general, my problems with Combat Evolved is mainly the second half of the game. The first half is amazing, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it has nice environments, but by the time it reaches the halfway point, it begins to fall apart, with repetitive level design, repetitive enemies being the Flood, and in general, just not that much enjoyable, sandbox anymore. That's not to say that Combat Evolved is a bad game, and the multiplayer is still fun on that one. But in general, I'd have to say that it just, in my opinion, doesn't compare to the sequels, which is a good thing. The sequel should always be taking aspects of the original and always improving on them. So that's my opinion on Combat Evolved. Ever since the end of Halo 4, I was looking forward to the story of the next sequel, but I really felt that the multiplayer was truly dying down. it wasn't the multiplayer I remembered, and when it came with this game, I was very hyped for it, and while I was relatively disappointed with what I got, I still relatively enjoy Halo 5. While not the best Halo, it's still enjoyable. The campaign, while not at par with Halo 3 or anything, is still better than Halo 4, and the multiplayer feels like a faster paced version of the Halo formula mixed with some elements of the modern shooter. But honestly, in my opinion, it's far more respectable than Halo 4, and in general, I believe, while not perfect, is a well-designed game, and definitely pick it up if you haven't already. Now, I can bet for at least 50% of the Halo community puts this game on their number one. And while for good reason, Halo 2 revolutionized gaming with introducing, well, not really introducing, but incorporating the online multiplayer of Halo and really launching the Xbox Live. Halo 2 is what really was an entry for a lot of new fans, and you know, it was just such a great design game, and I'm actually one of the few people that just, like, I loved playing as the Arbiter. I loved its campaign. The multiplayer, while not flawless, was definitely well designed and great for its time, and still holds up well. Halo 2, in my opinion, definitely has aged pretty well considering everything, especially with its anniversary treatment, which now gives it buffed up graphics and sounds. Overall, this game, in my opinion, is, while not the best Halo, is still a fantastic one, but it isn't number one for me. Truly, just keep watching and then you'll find out what's number one for me. A lot of eyes fail to see that many miss past this game. Many just pass by it when they're trying to look for great Halo games. And I actually think this is one of the greatest ones. The campaign was really fun, the multiplayer was highly enjoyable, even though there were flaws with the game design. It was in general loaded with content, had so much to do in the game, the customization was amazing, and in general this game just had so many reasons to come back to it. From my first game to my last, I'll always be having a blast on Halo Reach. I know, it's not really that original, but hey, what else were you expecting? This game, in my opinion, is on my list of the top 5 games of all time. Halo 3 is such a great game. It incorporated so many great elements. The campaign and story was thrilling, the multiplayer was grand and fun, it introduced things such as the Forge and Theater, it united the community on a single front, and in general, Halo 3 was the prime of Halo, and the game that introduced me to the Halo franchise. While some would consider me somewhat biased to this game, it's only because of how great it is. The design is perfect, the general level design is great, and overall, I really have little to no flaws with this game. And honestly, Halo 3 is one of those games that truly represents the Halo series to me. A game that stands the test of time and overall will make Halo one of the best games of all time. Halo 3 is not only a great Halo game, but it's one of the best games, period. So yeah guys, that was overall my list of the top 7 Halo games. What do you think? Did you agree with what I had to say, or do you have a different list? If you do, put them in the comments, or better yet, make your own video response. I would love to see your guys' opinion. Is your number one Halo 3, Halo 2? Is it a bit more odd like Halo Reach, or heck, even Halo 5? If you want to give a response or something, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like or subscribe. And overall guys, thank you for watching. Your support means everything to me guys. I wouldn't be who I am now without you. So until then guys, I'll see you on my next video, and peace out.